All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I welcome you all to another exciting session from Sitecore User Group Nagpur, which is organized by Mahima Patel, Neha Pasi, and myself, that is Vikrant Punwatkar, and supported by Proficient. Today, to share with us their knowledge, we have two gentlemen. One is a quite well-known name from Sitecore Circle, seven-time Sitecore Technology MVP, and a solution architect from Avanade, Amit Kumar. We also have with us a relatively new face, but who is quite passionate about contributing in Sitecore community and has already started on that path. A Sitecore consultant from Deloitte USI, Ranjit Deshpande. Today, they are going to talk about Embedded Personalize in XM Cloud. They'll give us insights on how marketers and developers can use this feature to rapidly create tailored digital experiences. You'll also learn how to leverage built-in audio segmentation, page variants, and more, all powered by cloud native and developer-friendly framework. Please welcome our esteemed speakers, Amit and Ranjit, as they'll take us through the exciting details and insights of today's topic. Over to you, Amit and Ranjit.
Yeah, hello. Thanks, Vikrant and Team Sitecore User Group Nagpur. We will be guiding you through the session as to mentioned by Vikrant. Okay, so let's begin. Welcome everyone. Today we are going to explore how actually Sitecore XM Cloud's embedded personalized can help marketers to showcase relevant content with no much heavy setup. We will be guiding you through the starting details along with the high level details, followed with a quick demo. Okay, so let's get started. Let's move to our first agenda. Let's check up the agenda for today's session. So here's the roadmap for today. We will start with an introduction with XM Cloud, then understanding embedded personalization, its key features, technical aspects, and then session based on historical data personalization, and then we'll quickly followed with a demo along with the analytics and insights. Lastly, we will take your questions. So please feel free to uh, ask the questions. Okay. So for this presentation today, I will be presenting this Sitecore session with uh, a well-known face in Sitecore circle, whose name is Amit Kumar. He is a seven-time Sitecore MVP with over 20 years of IT experience. You can find his work and connect with him on GitHub, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Or easily you can just go through the QR code and just scan it, and you will be knowing you will be getting his details. Okay, so let's move to the next thing. A little bit about myself. My name is Ranjit Deshpande. I have been working as a Sitecore developer since last 3 years. I have I have hands-on experience on Sitecore, XM Cloud, .NET, and currently 8 months of experience in Next.js as well. So previously, I have qualified Google Code Jam, a global coding hackathon arranged by Google. And previously in March, I have also participated in Sitecore Hackathon, proposing a Gen AI content authoring tool as well. So let's quickly get started. Below are my social media handles. If you have any kind of technicalities or any kind of questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay. So let's get started to our introduction. So firstly, what XM Sitecore XM Cloud is. So yeah. So basically, Sitecore XM Cloud is a cloud native headless CMS designed for developers and marketers. That means it is a purpose built for fast development, which enables users to deliver omni-channel delivery and ease of use for both marketers and developers, which means a front-end team can work parallelly with the back-end team. And along with that, you will be able to produce the delivery in a much time, and all the updates and everything is taken care by Sitecore, so you don't have any headaches of support fix and hotfix or any kind of security bulletin. Along with that, it combines the latest version of Sitecore Expense Manager, Page Builder, Content Editor, SXA, and headless services. So basically, there is one XM Cloud Foundation had, which is a starter kit given by Sitecore to quickly you can get started with the Sitecore XM Cloud. As I mentioned earlier, we can integrate it with like any kind of content like Next.js. Usually we use Next.js because the starter kit is given in Next.js, but you can use any kind of content which is Angular, Vue, or React. So let's go on to the feature which makes Sitecore XM Cloud a preferable or any other headless CMS. So firstly, it is a Jamstack ready. Jamstack ready means it actually has a lot of components inbuilt in it for built for performance, security compatible with modern static site generators, such as like it has its own pages editor and other kind of, as I mentioned, XM starter kit. So you can build up a SXA component in Sitecore and integrate it with the front end by creating the same components, scaffolding the component through Next.js, establishing a GraphQL client connection, and integrating it into your component props by using GraphQL. So it's very easy and a Jamstack ready, useful for enhancing the performance, security, and compatibility, as it will deliver the content in omni-channel, which means any kind of device will get that particular content uh, quickly onto his website or uh, a tablet or something like that. So it is very useful. Okay, so going to the next part, it has the embedded personalization, which means personalization pages for different users without complex setup. So for example, if I have a set of users, so I will show up the content for this particular user for this kind of content, and I can again manage different content for different users. So without using CDP and personalize, it has its own out-of-the-box embedded personalization, which will be uh, talking truly forward in the upcoming slides. Third thing is age content delivery. As I mentioned, it uses GraphQL, so it doesn't have any CD server or anything. It is working on Experience Age API, which is a service which we can integrate with GraphQL, and um, uh, we can show the content onto the page using component props in Next.js by scaffolding a component and using some Next.js functions or any kind of front-end functions. Then it has inbuilt component library. So this inbuilt component library means it has basic, as I mentioned earlier, it has a startup kit. So what actually startup kit means is there are already predefined components such as promo, page content, and other different kinds of components in which the starter kit provides us. So we can look up to the code, we can create our custom components by using particular code, just tweaking it or modifying the code as per our need in very less time as compared to the other. Okay, so let's go forward. That is advanced page editor. So advanced page editor or pages is basically nothing but, for example, if we create a SXA component in Sitecore and we integrate it into the front end by creating the same name of component in Next.js, establishing a GraphQL client and fetching the data from GraphQL. So basically, when we deploy this using the XM Cloud deploy app, it should be visible in our Pages editor. So Pages editor is nothing but a GUI from where you can just drag and drop the particular component on your page, and you will be very easily getting all the inside all the appearance details along with that. So it has some custom styling, and you can also configure various attributes in Pages editor as well. Okay, so it is a superset version of more like a experience editor. So it is very user friendly and will be more useful. Yeah. So next thing is faster development and deployment. Okay, so faster development, as I mentioned, front end team can work parallelly with back end team without any kind of interruption. And deployment, for deployment we are using XM Cloud Deploy app, and for after deploying the site, we generally primarily use Vercel. Vercel is a platform where
Ranjit,
you can integrate.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Your voice is breaking a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Is it fine now, Vikrant?
Yeah, it's better. Thanks.
Okay. So basically, it provides a deployment as in it has the XM Cloud deploy app, which we can integrate with our GitHub by using some connector which is provided out of the box, and then we can deploy it. We will be using Vercel for the website deployment as well. So the site code changes and the front end changes will be visible on our Vercel site once we deploy it. It also has customer portal. Customer portal, for example, Sitecore XM Cloud has a portal in which we can manage the configurations of the site. We will be having some kind of configurations which we manage for site management and headless SXA. Uh, Apart from this, it has a lot of inbuilt analytics and insight along with some kind of site code forms as well. So these are the all the features of Sitecore XM Cloud, which we can use as developers to seamlessly deliver omnichannel experiences. Yeah. So coming to the next part, that is understanding embedded personalization. So basically, for understanding embedded personalization, we need to check with what actually personalization is. So we, as I mentioned earlier, we can show up different content for different users according to the personalization rules which we have predefined, or we can create a custom rules for also that. So it enables us to get the real time stream data collection and get our data through. So here are few things which we need to take care about. Okay, so first thing is real time stream data collection. So it tracks 30 days of your view events to understand what users are doing in session. Secondly, the edge functions for dynamic page swapping. So for that, pages or content blocks can be swapped instantly into the edge based on the user behavior or segment. Third one is preview mode for checking variations. So basically, we can create a variant in XM Cloud, and depending upon the variant, we can show different kind of data to different user. So for preview mode for checking variations, marketers can preview the content variation before they go live. So and it ensures a better accuracy. And lastly is site and page analytics for tracking performance. So marketers can measure the effectiveness of each variation at both page and site level. So these
And
are some points which we need. Yeah.
and one more thing is that when you are going with the embedded personalization, so you do not need to buy a separate license for the CDP or Personalize because it is coming as a out of the box, but you cannot get a functionality all which are provided by the CDP and Personalization, but you are getting the subset of that. So when you are designing or thinking of your journey for the transformation from the MVC to the headless, so you need to think about how you can start. You can start with the complete personalization, or you can start with the MVP to and decide it that you need to buy a complete license or not.
Right, Amit. So basically, this embedded personalization is coming out of the box. We are not taking any kind of license as mentioned by Amit. So it's pretty much more useful than the CDP and personalized, but it does has other factors as well, which we will be discussing in the next slides. Okay. So these are some key features which are of embedded personalization. So first one is page-based personalization. So what do you mean by page-based personalization? So basically, you can create up to 8 unique page variants for a single page. Each variant can have up to 5 conditions, such as location, behavior, or device type, that decides which users which will see which version. This enables truly personalized journey without much headache. So So basically, we can do the page-based personalization using XM Cloud as given out of the box. Secondly, at the component level. So instead of changing the entire page, you can personalize individual components like banners, CTAs, or product tiles, which will be useful when you want to tweak just a part of the page without creating a full page variants. So basically, you can apply the personalization on the component level basis. Okay. So third thing is audience segmentation. So out of the box, you get several conditions to define your audience segments, such as traffic source, device type, or geolocation, or anything. So these segments can be reused across multiple pages and campaigns. So you can use this as well for better understanding of what actually the audience segments are. You can define your own. Okay. So fourth one is real-time analytics. So all these features are coming out of the box for real-time analytics. You can track how each personalized experience performs using built-in analytics, which helps you monitor site traffic, see which variant performs better, and you can optimize accordingly depending upon which your variant performs better. Okay. So together, these features empowers marketers to create dynamic user-specific experiences while staying in full control. Okay. So let's go ahead. So let's see the technical aspects of XM Cloud personalization. So as mentioned by Amit earlier, that embedded personalization is out of the box and it is a subset of CDP and Sitecore Personalize. So basically what it means is you don't need to get any license for embedded personalization. You get it from once you buy the XM Cloud, you get it from out of the box. So Sitecore has two more powerful tools, that is CDP and Personalize. CDP focuses on collecting and unifying customer data from various sources, whereas Personalize builds on the top of data to deliver personalized experiences across multiple channels. But in case of embedded personalization, what actually embedded personalization does is it takes a small but useful subset of both. So it uses real-time tracking capabilities of CDP, along with it brings in basic audience targeting and content variation features from Personalize. So it is fully integrated into XM Cloud, so you don't need any separate infrastructure for that. Okay. So that is why we call it as a subset of CDP and Personalize, because it uses both the features of because it uses features of both the products. Okay. So let's go ahead. Yeah, so let's give it a try, like what actually a page level personalization in XM Cloud is. So this diagram above explains how page level personalization works within Sitecore XM Cloud ecosystem using modern web technologies, maybe Next.js or Vue.js or Angular, which we use. So first of all, let's break it down for in single parts. So firstly, we will check with the end user. So firstly, the end user makes a request. A user requests a page through the browser. That request goes to the rendering host, which is powered by Next.js. Secondly, there is a middleware handling, which is called as the personalization middleware, which this layer within Next.js handles logic such as checking headers, setting cookies, building page variants, or anything like that. And it is also performing A/B testing and enforcing redirects and rate limits based on the user's segment. It dynamically determines which variant to serve. Okay, so depending upon this, actually middleware handling, that is personalization middleware is the most important thing, which handles everything, and it is based on user segment. It dynamically determines which variant to serve or and which variant to not. So this is it. And the content authors in XM Cloud build layouts, components, and media items. This content is published and pushed to the experience edge, which is the CDN layer. As I mentioned, there is no CD server for XM Cloud. So this content is pushed to experience edge using experience edge API, which serves content at scale. Then it acts as a delivery layer that stores the published content, including layouts, media, and personalization rules. It also connects with CDP and Personalize to get the segmentation data. Along with this, integrate. Along with this, uh, the page level personalization is a combined effort of all these components which I have just mentioned. So most important component here is personalization middleware, but other components such as rendering host and other things are also very important. So this is
Yeah,
how actually the yeah.
yeah. Adding to the Ranji's point, so what happened that when you are working with the next year, so you will be getting a creating a website in a two ways, like a SSG or a SSR. So the major difference is that when you are building the site as a SSG, so all the page variants will be available to your Next.js code base, right? The dump of your build artifacts, right? It will be there. But when you are working with the SSR, right? So whenever the request is being made, at that time, uh, the details being fetched. So when the request will be coming, so based on your configuration, it is SSG or SSR. So the major difference between that, so when SSG is there, then personalization middleware will not make a call to the experience edge to get all the variants because it's already being present in the zip file where when the build is happening. So but when the SSR is there, so it will go and take the page variants. Suppose you are having a two page variants or three page variants, so it will take all the page variants here. Then it will make a call to the CDP and personalize like a subset based on the cookies and context have been set by your browser. So those details will be passed to this, and then the CDP will return you the segmentation. For example, if you are having a condition that you have visited a website in a past 10 days or not, right? So that is a some set of a segmentation. So if I will give you an example of a uh, XP, right? Where we used to write a custom conditions like user have visited my website in a past 10 days or user belongs to this attribute or not, right? So those are a segmentation because when you are going to the XConnect and you are creating a email campaign or anything, so based on a one condition you are trying to fetch all the users, so that is nothing but a user segmentation. So same way, if I am having a condition that user have previously visited my website or not, or in past 10 days user have visited or not, or how many times user have visited, so all this segmentation details will be served to the personalization middleware. So then personalization middleware will pick up a one condition and it will verify that it is being fulfilled or not. If it is fulfilled, then whatever the page variant is attached to that specific condition will be served to you. So if one condition is failed, then it will move to the second condition, then third condition based on how many number of condition or variants you have configured. So in the upcoming slides, I am also showing you the some sort of a flow which will help you to understand. And coming to this XM Cloud, right? So you need to just think of that there is a two editing hosts or rendering hosts are there, right? This rendering host and this. So both are different because this editing host is nothing but a your CM box, how used to you have in the XP implementation. But you cannot use this editing host to be served by the served for the end user because it is provisioned by the Sitecore for you. And also the data, the CD box, as Anjit was mentioning, that it is not there. So you need to think of that experience edge will be there, but there is a condition of a 50 MB of a media items that you need to think of when you are trying to use the experience edge as a CDN. So it's not like that when you are moving to the XM Cloud, then only you can use the experience edge, but you can also use experience edge with your XM or XP based headless implementation also, right? Yeah, over to you, Ranjit.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Amit. Okay, so let's see up the some features comparing it with the experience platform that is XP. So first is basically we will see how let's walk through each feature row by row. So first, for example, it's a data source. So in embedded, it uses session based data. It personalized based on current user session Whereas in XP and XP and CDP oblique personalize, we use both session and historical data, which enables deep personalization across every visit. Like there will be multiple visits, so across every visit it enables deep personalization using both session and historical based data. So second is AI ML support. So basically AI ML support is only supported in CDP, and it is not included in our embedded as well as in XP. So it it because of this, our embedded architecture is a bit lightweight and which doesn't need any kind of heavy setup. So it is out of box provided from XM Cloud. Yeah. So third thing is scalability. So both embedded and CDP are SaaS based, making them highly scalable. Whereas XP is a host on premises and is limited by infrastructure, so it doesn't have much scalability. Fourth thing is integration. In integration, embedded and CDP personalize integrate well with other tools and platforms, whereas XP has limited integration and requires custom setup. Okay. So fifth one is real-time data. So as I mentioned earlier, embedded personalization stores real-time data. So yes, it provides, and XP and CDP personalize also. As I mentioned, it provides station-based as well as historical base. Okay. So coming to the data retention factors. So embedded personalization can only store up to 30 days, whereas XP and CDP personalize can store for a long amount of period. And lastly, the user experience support is a bit very easy for embedded personalization. And for XP and CDP personalized, we need to configure some more details accordingly. So it's a bit more complex as compared to embedded personalized. Yeah. Yeah, so moving forward, there are few factors which determines the site core engagement. So these factors are listen, think, respond, and learn matrix. So this feature matrix breaks down how different site core products support the four stages of engagement. So basically, first for the first stage, that is listen. Listening is nothing but collecting data. Uh, so it actually XM Cloud supports web data collection, and whereas CDP and Personalize support advanced features like omnichannel data collection, offline ingestion, and session identity resolution. So these are few things which we use to determine for the engagement. And
Why we
second
wanted
thing
to
is thing.
let me also cover why we wanted to
Yeah.
present this slide that because this is from the Siteco. So when you are starting your journey, as I was telling earlier, for any digital transformation, so based on your design and discovery, right, you will be coming up with some use cases which you have to implement, like from MVC to here, or if you are starting a greenfield project, so you can come to this specific slides and you can identify that if I am having a use cases, right, based on this listen, think, respond, and learn, and then you can decide that which combination of a project will be helpful for you, and on the basis of that, you can go ahead and buy the licenses. So these metrics will be very helpful to decide you which specific product you need to select for your digital experience for your application. Yes, over to you, Sanjay.
Yeah, thanks, Amit. So yeah, so coming to the session based and historical data personalization. So we will be comparing like what is session based and what is historical based. As the name suggests, session based means we can tailor our content based on real-time user behavior during the current session, whereas historical data personalization, we can use long-term customer data that is, for example, past interactions or preferences which are been chosen by the customer. And secondly, the no, in session based personalization, No long-term data retention is there. Only data is limited up to only store only up to 30 days. Whereas in if we use CDP, it enables advanced segmentation, allow and also predictive analytics, which is based on long-term data. Third is it is mostly ideal for immediate dynamic adjustment for to user experiences that is very quick and real time. And for historical, it is ideal for complex multi-session personalization strategies, that is deep insights driven personalization. Okay, so
Yeah. So let me give you a one more example here. For example, when you are doing a work for any client, right? And if they are having a many business, like it is having a offline businesses also, like they are having a grocery store, or they are having a shops, offline shops, or maybe they are the banking organization as well as they are having the e-commerce. So when those type of organizations are there, so then they are looking for a 360-degree of a customer view, so that user is going to any of their businesses and they will get a personalized experience. So in those cases, CDP will comes into the picture because it's a data lake, so you can ingest the data from a different sources also, because it will allow you to provide the API. But when you are having a embedded personalization, so you cannot get a API access. So for example, if I am having an offline store and some user is going and buying the things related to the summer vacations, right? So now you have ingested data from your CRM system to the CDP, right? Now you want to give a personalized experience to user when that user is going to book a vacation on their your travel website or going to buy a e-commerce. Then if user have logged in and you already having a customer 360-degree view, and then you can based on that user persona, you can give them an offer. But those details or those type of experiences you can't build with the embedded personalization, because it's made for a real-time personalization. So in those cases, you definitely needs to look into the CDP or personalize or any other product which allow you to use it, so you can go with them. So let me move to the, so now in this I will be just giving a more example when and why to use the Sitecore XM Cloud embedded personalization. So as I was explaining, or the Ranjit was explaining, that when you are having a use cases where you are not relying on the large amount of historical data, in those cases you can go with the XM Cloud embedded personalization. And there is a one very useful use case, like if you are running some sort of a campaign, right, where you are creating a microsite or you are creating a pages which is just a landing page from any other uh, social media website, and user is landing to your website and you need to give us some offer or you need to greet user. So those things can be very easily implemented in this. And if you are having a content driven website where the brochure site or a micro site, so this will serve the purpose. But in some cases when you are having a very complex use cases, so in those cases the condition which is coming out of the box is not fulfilled, then you need to buy a license of the CDP and Personalize, so you can create the experiences there and you can push also that experience into the XM Cloud, and there also you can apply it. So you can create a custom rules, and that custom rules can flow from a Personalize to your XM Cloud also, because we are using the all the, you can say that module different modules from the site codes which can be easily connected with each other. So then also you can go with the CDP and personalization. Suppose if you need to do any geolocation based personalization, like if user is landing from a specific region, then you need to give a personalization message. Then you can go with the embedded personalization. So one more example is that when you are working for any insurance or a bank website and they are having the location based branches details, or location based or a region based, some rules are there, right? So in those cases also you can go with the embedded personalization, but there are some restriction that you cannot create a more than 8-page variants. So in that cases you need to think of that the branches which they need to service more than 8 or not, right? Otherwise you need to buy a full-fledged license of that. when to consider CDP and realize which this I already covered, right? By giving the example of a kiosk or a e-commerce website and a travel industry. So where you need to implement a more complex use cases, you need sorry, you need to ingest data from a different systems into this, and also when decisioning a real-time audiences are needed. Like I was giving the example on the basis of their past behaviors, like what they have purchased in the your offline store, and you need to serve the personalization. So in those cases you need to always go with the CDP and personalization licenses separately. And also if you need to implement a personalization in kiosk, for example, when you are going to the ATM, right? So you are seeing that you will be getting a different offer these loans. So how those are coming? Because they are also having the your all transaction history in the backend, and they have build up your user persona, what things you are buying it. So on the one you are buying power. So on the basis of that, you are getting a personalization offers on the ATM machine or a kiosk. And how it can be done when you are having the API, right? Because kiosk applications are built up differently. So in those cases, you cannot access the API. So that's why you need to go with the full-fledged licenses. And also when you are looking for AI ML support, because in embedded personalization, you will be not getting a AI ML support, because when you are going with the CDP, so there is a AI ML engine is there. So on the basis of a your past behavior, it will give you the dynamic segmentation, so you can utilize that. Use cases which I have already covered, like a geolocation, page level personalization, right? Audience segmentation, and the personalization promotion, like in terms of a brochure website, or you are running a some sort of a campaign like a UTM parameters based. So those are the generic use cases for your content driven website. So let me move to the next slide. So now I will be moving to the demo. So let me quickly share the site. So when you are working with the XM Cloud, right? So if you are have used the XM Cloud, so this is the pages editor. So what I did that I have deployed the XM Cloud vertical demo into the version. So here, when you will open the page in the pages editor, so you will see this sign, right? So this sign is nothing but showing that the personalization have been implemented on the this specific page. And on top of that, you will be getting these four links, right? So one of the link is the personalize. So when you will click on that, oh, my session is expire. Give me. Then this link will show you the details of a variants, right? So if you have earlier worked with the and in XP or XM, so variant is nothing but the different content, you can say that, or a different version of your page, right? So you can treat it as a variant. So as I was explaining when we were explaining the technical aspect, so these are the page variants. So when you are doing the SSG, then when you are building it, all this data will be pushed at the time of a build in the form of a JSON to your Next.js application, right? When it is deployed. But when you are doing the SSR, then it will be fetched during the runtime. So these are the page variants, and how it is different from the you can say that XP and XM based personalization is that, or you can say that the XConnect, because there you know that when you are implementing any condition, right? So you can target any component, and you can apply a more than one condition or a personalization into a one page, right? But here it's totally different. So that's why we would keep talking about a variant means that if you need to implement a target a one country, so you can say that suppose if user is coming from India, then show a this content, right? Like suppose personalize this. So in those cases, you will be creating a one page variant for this. So now user is coming from a Europe region, so you need to implement a different variation. So it's not like that you can go here and you can add a 10 components here and you can do the page variation like that, because when you are creating a page variants, you need to specify the condition for that. So that condition you can define it here, like the visitor is in during the current visit is the Asia. So that is the major difference when you will start using the uh, this embedded personalization, because for each condition you can add a multiple condition, but this will be treated as a only one condition. So you cannot mix a the visitor is in Asia, the visitor is in Europe. So in those cases you will be getting only a one content to display. So in those cases you need to create a different variants. When you are going with the embedded personalization, as I was explaining, you can have a 8-page variant, right? So then you cannot utilize the embedded personalization. So though that is the major difference, well, you are moving from your uh, MVC implementation to the headless. And also one more thing is that it is not a lift and shift. So suppose if you have created any custom conditions or a custom rules in the XConnect, right? Suppose you have added a 10 attribute for a user like a organization or a department or anything, right? Like XConnect, you can extend the schema. So those things cannot be lift and shift here, because here you will be not getting the opportunity to extend the any of the user profile attributes. For that you need to buy a separate license. Then only you are going to add a custom condition, and also you need to ingest data manually if you wanted to move the historical data also. And conditions, suppose if you have created a custom conditions or rules, then you need to go and buy the personalization license, and you need to create those conditions and push it here. Or you can go with the HTML based experiences where you can inject the HTML or personalization content into the pages directly, right, with the help of a JavaScript. So that is a major difference when you are migrating. So those things you need to think of. So how we can create that condition or anything. Suppose I will go here and create a variant. So it will load the canvas. So if you will go here, like I click on add conditions. So if you will see here, it is providing you a different side of a sort of a grouping, right? So let's say it's date, right? So as I said that it's a 30-day things are like the visitor is before or after date and time, right? So that is based on your historical data up to 30 days, and date and time comparison. So these are the on the basis of a current visit or a based on a current session plus a 30 days of a data is there. On the basis of that you can do that, but you can also create your custom condition and push it here. So now coming to the device, right? So this is also one of the conditions you can easily do that, like the visitor is coming or using this device, then load this content. So if I will show you, like first the geo condition. So here what I did that I have just mentioned that the visitor, the current visit, like a current session, visitor is in Asia during current visit. Then come to my component and change this content. So here what happened that you can select the component and you can change the content also based on your things, like how you used to create a different data source in XM and XP based personalization. Same way you can create a different content to give the personalized experience. So same way when I am implementing to tackle the Europe region users, then I created a different variant for that, and I have changed the condition here. So that way you can utilize the geo based condition. So I was also showing to you the this contact condition. So you can contact means target easily the users which are coming from a specific OS like a Windows, or you can select a different type of OS here also, and you can implement the other also. So sometimes what happen that when user is using the iPhone application in the iPhone, you need to give the different you can say that the content to user, right? Or user has Windows, then you need to show the Windows specific Play Store links, right? So in those cases, this is comes into a very handy feature where you can personalize the experience also. And same way, when which device user is using it, right? So for example, in some cases when you are having a user experience which is easily, or you can say that the good to see in the sorry, desktop application, but not in the mobile. So those, in those cases also, you can target or use this specific condition to implement a breakpoint like a tablet, desktop, or you can do the other also to give a specific conditions here. So that way you can implement the in session based personalization. So now coming to one of the page where that is very useful condition. Why? Because you can target the UTM campaign also. So that is the only main requirement most of the time for the marketers or a business user, that how I can give the personalization experience based on my user. So here what you can do, that you can have a condition campaign source medium or a content that is equal to or include any of the things. So on the basis of that, when you are passing the user with a UTM parameter, UTM is equal to like a sales, then you can personalize the condition also. So what I did, that I just implemented a UTM underscore campaign we want. So that way you can personalize the condition. And also one more thing you need to be, you are seeing here. So the component which is showing you this target like a personalization icon, those components content can only be personalized. So how it will happen that, so you remember when we used to build up the experience editor view of our pages, so some people will directly render the data in the slash div uh, name is equal to something, right? But some people are using the Sitecore provided tag like a Sitecore colon text input, something like that, right? Same way, if you are using the JSS SDK provided a component, right, to render your data, then only you are able to edit the pages. So when you are developing the headless application, so you also needs to use the JSS Sitecore JSS provided, you can say that the component. Otherwise, if you will use the div or normal text component, then you won't be able to edit the content in the experience editor or in the this pages editor. So these are the condition which you can utilize is to build up the experiences. So now I will explain you this flow. So the flow which I was explaining that in the initial technical aspects when we were showing it, like visitor lands into the website, right? So personalization middleware already, if you are using SSG or SSR, it will be having all your variants handy, and also the segmentation details, right, will be having handy, right? So it will evaluate the condition. So condition evaluation logic is met, right? Condition is true, then assign the audience, right, which is came from the CDP and personalization API call, right, which is made, right, and display the personalization experience. So this flow will call every time when you will visit the page. So for example, if you are landing to the home page, then also all the process which we explained earlier in a bigger technical architecture diagram, and in this data flow will be combined together to give you the personalization experience. And when you will move to the next page, for example about us also, then also suppose if you are not having any segmentation assigned or anything, then the default uh, variant, or you can say that will be shown to the you. Or if no personalization is there, then still also this will be rendered, because condition is false, then it will and visitor leave the site, or it will go, or visitor navigates to the another page, then also this re-evaluation of audience segmentation will be called. So how this is done is happening that in the backend, like personalization middleware is there, right? So that will do the magic, because generally middleware purpose is that it will allow you to change the content which is being served to the user, like a URL rewriting, or you need to change any type of a calls or anything. So all those logic you can handle at a personalization middleware. That's why this middleware will be having all the data at a runtime, and it will do this condition evaluation, and it will show you the personalization content. So this I have covered. So now go to uh, the personalization or the analytics we talked about. Now how you can measure that your pages are performing. So out of the box, the the embedded personalization give you this report. This you can say that the report how you are getting in the X Connect when you are opening it. So here what you are getting it, you are getting a visitor average time on site visit, like how the marketer will measure the your pages or inventory, and also it will give you the visit by time or the day, top pages from where your users are coming. So that way you can get a site insight, and also how your individual page are performing, it is also giving you the page insight. So here the main thing is that by default it will show you the default page variants, but when you need to compare how your other variants are performing, so you can add the other variants also. So by default you can compare only two variant only, where beyond that you cannot add it. And we were keep telling about the 30 days data, so you can see that the time you can get a reporting out of this is the 30 days. So here if you are seeing that it is giving you the out of the box reporting to measure the pages performance, but it is not extensive. But if you are having a requirement where would you like to display, or you need to show that from which location user is coming, right? Suppose you are having a tracking the geographic, right? So those things you cannot do with the embedded personalization. Those things you can do with the CDP, but CDP also you cannot create a custom report. So in those cases, you need to utilize the CDP to ingest data, like in Power BI, you can do that. So you will push the data from CDP to Power BI, and then you can design your custom reporting. So if you are having a reporting requirement where you are looking for a extensive reporting feature, then also you need to go with the CDP. So here you are seeing that you can easily manage, measure or do the A/B testing type of things, how your different page variants are performing. So that way you can decide that your campaign which you have run in past is working properly or not. So this is a very good for a simple website where you need to just implement a simple use cases.
Yeah, mate, just a quick time check. We have five
Yeah,
minutes
yeah,
more.
yeah. I have reached. So the compliance wise is that it is a GDPR and CCPA compliance, and also data security is there because it is using the AES 256 and TLS 1.2, which is a standard for most of the SaaS projects. With data retention, because some organization is having a data retention policy, so in those cases also will be having a edge on this, because it cannot retain a data more than 30 days. So where you are having a more strict data retention policies, then also it will be helpful. But where you are having a requirement for a longer duration, then you need to go with the CDP and personalize. And limitation, as I said, that page level personalization only there, you cannot target a individual content area of your page. Limited variant conditions are there, no AIML, aggregated data limitation. So these are the major limitation which you need to thorough analyze when you are proposing a CDP or personalization. Otherwise, if you are blindly going with the CDP and personalization, so anyhow it is going to increase the cost for your client in terms of licenses. So now coming to the Q&A. So please feel free to ask any question if you have for myself and Ranjit.
Thanks, Amit. So the floor is open for questions. If you have any, you can drop them in the chat or Q&A section. Okay, I don't see any.
Yeah,
Nice.
you can feel free to contact with me or Ranjit if you are having any questions. So you can contact me via LinkedIn, or you can ping me on Slack, or WhatsApp also in any of the groups. So we are feel free to help you to if you have any questions for us.
Thanks for that. So I don't see any questions here. So I feel that's all for today. Thanks, Amit and Ranjit, for such insightful session. Thanks to everyone on this call for keeping your enthusiasm alive and encouraging us for keep this going. Thanks again. Have a
Yeah,
good day.
thank you everyone for joining, and have a great day ahead. Bye.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you.